This is Divine Evolution, and I'm Chris O'Connor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'd like to go a step further in the meditation and explain a little bit more about one of the primary purposes for meditation, and that is for tuning your chakras. Especially in the West, the whole idea of chakras are just so foreign. I grew up not understanding what a chakra was at all, and it took a lot of years for me to truly begin to understand what they are. All living things have an energy field, have a vibration, and that vibration is also part of polarity, a polarity of magnetism, electromagnetism. There is a flow of energy in our bodies, flowing in generally from our feet and our root chakra, which is at the base of our spine, up through our body, up through our spine, through our entire neural system. And that's just part of our life force. And that comes from the earth. It comes from flowing throughout the entirety of the universe. That energy is there. It's dark energy. It's dark matter. It's positive. It's negative. It's everything flowing in a soup of energy is what this entire universe is. And we're a very small portion of that, of course. But we are still, as an individual, based on the polarity of energy flowing in and energy flowing out, and creating an energy loop around us, just as the Earth has the poles, energy coming in at the North Pole and exiting at the South Pole, and creating a loop and continuing to do that in a large magnetosphere surrounding the entirety of the Earth. Well, we all have a magnetosphere at some level. Each particle of material has its own vibrational magnetosphere as well, all the way down to the atom, all the way down to each portion of the atom and beyond. So it comes together within our body that we have this flow of energy. And as this energy flows up through into our body, the first place within our body that it flows into is the root chakra, the red ray chakra, red ray energy center. You can call it just about anything, but it's still the same thing. And what that energy center is, as anybody that knows anything about acupuncture or any of those type of medical practices, meditative practices, massage practices, understand the flow of energy that's flowing throughout our body and our nervous system. Well, that root chakra is where the first place this Earth's energy and the universal energy flows in. And it flows in a spiraling fashion. And it's like micro eddies, and these micro eddies become larger, and the groups of eddies become larger eddies, and it's just this continually fractile type of energy flow, where it doesn't matter how far down you go or how high up you go in seeking out the vortex of energy flow, it is still comprised of vortices of energy flowing. So it flows in to our root chakra. And the purpose of this, and what that energy center is our life essence. It is our consciousness. Each of the chakras comprised and put together are who you are. They're your consciousness, they're your emotion, they're your thought. How else can you have a memory? How else can you have vision and thought, if not for the fact that you have a living flow of energy coming into each portion of what you are? And it's not just one thing. It comprises of these 7 centers of energy that you could say are in of themselves and individually consciously aware. Just like the proton is consciously aware at its level of consciousness, and each level from that, from the proton to material, to comprised groups of material creating an organism. And so we are made of these 7 energy centers. The first being the root chakra, or red ray. The second is the orange ray. The third is the yellow ray. The fourth is the green ray. The 5th is the blue. The 6th is the indigo, and the 7th is the violet. And just like a rainbow, as a rainbow is an example of the vibration of light flowing through, and it's fractalized in a way that our eyes can see it, we are also made of this horizontal lines of color that also becomes our aura. So that's why people that can see auras can see colors, because depending on which of those energy centers, whichever of those chakras are either widely open or overacting or underperforming on how those colors are seen in your aura. And so when we have a flow of energy from the earth coming in, flowing first through to the red ray, that is our primal chakra. That is like the very base. That, if you look at it in an evolutionary scale of the whole of the universe, or we'll just focus on the earth, the red ray would be the earth materials, but not being yet the earth. So it would be like gases, it would be water, it would even be stone coming together. It would be all of the elements that the earth is built and comprised of would be the red ray, the very base, foundational energy center. And on an evolutionary soul level, consciousness level, that is when we are in the process of just coming together as a conscious being, is the red ray. So it is the first energy center. Then as that rainbow of color begins to fade from red into orange, you have all these levels of experience. You have all these levels of lifetimes moving you into the orange. And the orange is all of these materials that the earth is comprised of, or that you are comprised of, that I am comprised of. All of the elements come together in orange. And this orange consciousness would be very simple life forms, would be amoebas, bacteria, viruses, single cell organisms, because these materials have combined to create small little things. And they have a very light, slight consciousness. So it's just basically, it exists, seeks out light and food, and then dies. And then from the orange ray, you move up into the next density level, which is also a yellow energy center. So as I've said, humanity is in the third dimensional third density phase of existence as an evolutionary process of our whole race and the planet. We're all in yellow. We're in the yellow density. We're in the yellow energy center of the whole of human race. And so what happens is we go from those single cell little organisms into more complex beings. And so as we move from orange into yellow, and those colors change ever so slightly and ever so infinitely into yellow, then each of those levels are higher conscious beings, more complex beings, up to the point where, as I've said in a previous episode, you have the higher second density or orange energy center beings, which would be intelligent animals, so that when those animals move into the third density or yellow energy center phase of its evolution, it's the base human beings. And we're in that process now. And we're moving up into the green, up into fourth density, third density, yellow ray center of humanity, of our existence, of evolution, and includes the earth, is our human being thinking and soul processes trying to make and understand all the lessons of love. And in that love is how we begin to grow and evolve into a being that can move into the fourth density. The earth, for example, once we move from the third into the fourth density, well, in fact, the earth has already moved into fourth density, which is why things are so crazy right now, because human beings being kind of negative the way that we are and blinded to these understandings and understanding what it is we as an individual need to do to help the whole of humanity move forward, is holding the earth back. And she's fighting to be fully fourth density, fully green ray energy center. So this is why there's so many difficulties in the world right now. We have to continue on learning these lessons of love, learning how to love one another, learning how to be one mind and one race of people without judgment. And once we learn that, we will leave the third density and go into the fourth, and that's the green ray. As in our body, our physical individual body evolved from red, orange, and we're in yellow, and we're moving and working to become a more astral, higher density being, which would be the fourth density or green ray energy center. And beyond that, the next energy center being the blue, which would be like our throat chakra. The green, or the fourth density, is our heart chakra, or green ray energy center. The blue ray energy center is our throat chakra. And that is learning as we go all the way up. So we're evolving as an individual and as a physical being. And then as we go higher and we have the indigo, or the third eye chakra, that is when, once we've evolved our individual self, soul complex up to this point, this is when we can contact intelligent infinity, or we can contact God the Creator and have His energy flowing through us as an individual. And then we will continue to evolve from there up to the next level, which is the seventh. And it is at the point, at the end of that violet ray, is when we become one with God. Well, how does that relate to our chakras and our body and meditation? Meditation is an evolutionary process for the soul. And it's also for the mind and body. But it all pushes the soul along. And in order to have this evolutionary process, we have these layers and levels that we have been working ourselves through and will continue to do so for many thousands of years as an individual. And in these 7 energy centers, it's important for us because as we meditate and we focus on and balance each chakra, then these chakras have this flow of energy, the earth universal energy flowing in, and there's no blockages. We need to remove the blockages of each and every energy center. And so meditation is a huge help in focusing and tuning each of those energy centers, because our physical body will also act and react when our energies are flowing correctly. So we want this earth and universal energy to flow up through into our feet, spiraling as it goes, spiraling up into each portion of our being in every density, in every dimension, and in every possible conceivable way to exact change, and to help fill those areas within our body and within our energy body that needs balance and repair. And meditation is the key to allowing these energies to flow in and do these tasks. And the higher we go, the more balanced each of our chakras are, the easier this energy flows in. And the more energy, this golden white light, the infinite energy of God, can flow in through your crown chakra into your being. And it has sparkles of little golden light. And each of those little sparkles of golden light are conscious. In the way that that light can be conscious, it is all small portions of God's actual soul. And so you allow this energy to flow in. But until you have a decent balance of your chakras, enough energy can't flow in from the universe and the earth to open you up and allowing this golden white light to flow in. And the more you're balanced, the more of God's energy flows in. The more of this golden white light of infinity and of creation and transformation. And it is the feeling of love and peace that comes with this golden white light energy. And I want everyone to feel that at every possible level. Your chakras are knobs, 7 knobs of tuning the totality of who you are. And you can tune these. There's so many YouTube channels that have chakra meditation. You can do a total body balance. You can do individual chakras. It's always best to start with the lower chakras, get those balanced so that the energy can flow through those more easily so that the next chakra can be balanced. And you don't have to worry about every single chakra always being perfectly open or balanced. It's the whole of who you are that's important. You may have very bright red, orange, and yellow, and green chakras, and dim blue, and bright indigo, and maybe a dim violet. But the totality, the complete being that you are, shines as that individual being of light. And when I say you are a light being or a being of light, you are a being as the total of these 7 energy centers, each color of the rainbow. And the reason that beings of light shine is because this energy flows in and flows out easily. And it flows out because you are part and one with the universe. And this energy flowing in is flowing out for the benefit of all others. And when you see a dark being, say a shadow person is the opposite of this. It's not that they're evil necessarily, but they're not open and they're not flowing and they're not allowing the light and the energy flow in and out. What they're doing, what that being is doing, is absorbing all light coming in. So it's blacker than black because all light is being pulled inward for the self, which is a negative polarity action. And sometimes that's just because a shadow person that may be lost or confused and not understand what's going on. Or it could be a being from another density or place that is what we would consider a demon or something evil, because they simply are higher density negative beings that do nothing but conquer and control for the self. So it's absorbing and absorbing and absorbing, which is why a room can be freezing cold when you have a negative entity in your presence. And it doesn't mean they're negative and evil. It can just be that they were a jerk when they were living and they're a jerk now that they're dead. But they're not bad necessarily. They just haven't gone into the light. So they're not shining that light, which is why we need to shine our light. Always shine our light by expressing love, by expressing gratitude, and by continuing to do these processes of meditation, self-improvement, balancing our chakras to allow energies to flow in and out. That we want to be these beings of light. And it may seem at times an impossibility that all of humanity can come together in such a way that we are all, as a total race, shining as a bright, brilliant being. But fear not. In this time of harvest that we're in, it is like the rapture, but it's not like trumpets are blowing and everybody leaves at once. It's taking many years. It started in the 80s. And it will continue for tens or maybe even hundreds of years, depending on how the earth evolves and how humanity upon the surface of the earth is evolving, and how this flow of energy between the earth and between all of us on and within the earth get along. And when this harvest is complete, negative beings will be harvested to the negative polarity. Positive beings will be harvested to the positive polarity. And it only requires 1% of the total population to take all of humanity into the light. Don't you want to be part of that 1%ers? Not the 1%ers who own it all. Not the 1%ers that control it all, but the 1%ers that are shining so brilliantly that all of humanity is drawn into the light. And that is my journey. And that is why Divine Evolution is here to help you. And here to go on this journey and learn as we go. And hopefully you can learn from us and we can learn from you. So please contact us. Let us know what you think of the show. Request things. Ask questions. We love questions because we love to answer. If you go on Podchaser or Buzzsprout or iPod, iTunes, any of those platforms, and find us. And if you leave a review or if you leave a question, if you contact us, please do so. We're even on Instagram and Twitter. And then we will work together to evolve all of humanity if we work together, just us 1%, to take human beings into the fourth density with the earth. And we can do this only in love. So please know that we're grateful for you and that we love you. This is Divine Evolution. We love you. And until next time, I'm Chris O'Connor.